Research Methods Screencast, Legal and Ethical Issues. BASIS is the British Association of Sport and Exercise Science, and they govern the research done in sport and exercise science. This means they make sure that researchers are performing and conducting tests in a legal and ethical way. They use a code of conduct to help researchers perform more ethically, but also help know when researchers are being illegal. The code of conduct is divided into 3 sections: general application, provisions, and research ethics and professional conduct. The first one being general application, general applicable provision, which is further split into biomechanics, motor behavior, physiology, nutrition and psychology, physical activity for health and sport performance. Research ethics states that if you want to do a work-related study, you have to have ethical approval from universities. NHS research ethic committees and NHS Research Authority as some examples. The professional conduct uses a data protection and responsibility rule, which is also known as the Data Protection Act 1998. This ensures that any data gathered is only relevant to the research and isn't exposing any clients. Exercise scientist researchers must know what the Act is and abide by it throughout the research and tests. This ensures that the clients are being well looked after and the exercise science researchers are working within their specialist areas. It allows clients to be safe and research to be unbiased whilst carrying out the tests to the highest standard. Exercise science researchers must listen to any questions and queries from clients and members of BASIS. They must perform to show off how good BASIS is and have suitable insurance cover. Informed consent and confidentiality is there to protect the clients and ensure exercise science researchers are performing safe and legally. No research can be done before a consent form is appropriately filled out by the client or client's parents or guardians. The form is normally done by the exercise science researchers stating what the investigation is, what is going to be done during and after the test, what risks and benefits may occur, and the right to ask any questions and leave at any point during the test without any repercussions. Confidentiality ensures that any information gathered from the test is used for exercise and science-based use only, and information being passed on is only done so if the client has signed a consent form. All clients have to be given a copy of the results and information so they can supply it if/when requested. The results can't expose any clients, so codes are sometimes used. For example, participant A is a 26-year-old female, would be fine. The information must be stored correctly, either in a locked cabinet or filing safe, where only certain people relevant to the study can get in to view the paperwork and results. The other way is electrical, and it needs to have a high security lock, for example, a complicated password, finger, thumb, or face recognition. If exercise science researchers aren't working legally and ethically, then one of 3 actions could be taken. These 3 actions are civil and legal action, tribunals, and measures to prevent future research. Legal and civil action is when a researcher leaves themselves open to be punished. This also protects the client and makes them feel safe and more likely to take part if they are able to take the researcher to a tribunal if they aren't working legally and ethically. An example of this might happen is if the researcher says they're going to use 20 grams of coffee but use 30 grams and something goes wrong that affects a client, they can take them to a tribunal. The advantages for this are clients are going to feel safe, so it encourages people to take part. The researchers are going to perform legally, so they are more trustworthy because they don't want to get punished. The disadvantages to this are researchers could be punished for very small, simple errors. Clients might know how to conduct or set up a tribunal, so the researchers will get away with not working ethically. This could then stop people from taking part. A tribunal is organised and run by bases. It's dealt with like a court would. So the researcher is put on a trial, and if found guilty, depending on the severity, is prevented from doing future research. An example of where this would happen is if a researcher was to put their client's name in the results and that get published, then the client would take the researcher to a tribunal. When found guilty, they would then have action taken on them, leading to a number of scenarios where they could be banned for a limited time or life. The advantages to this is it allows the clients to feel safe and trust the outcome of the research done. The results can be used to help future studies or used to be developed on. It will improve sporting performance and universities' reputation so they can get more people to their uni to help research continue and develop. The disadvantages to this are it can take time for the tribunal to be set up and cost the client money which they may not have or want to pay for a small error. If the researcher has a good defence, then they can be proven innocent, or vice versa, the innocent researcher can be found guilty. If past research has been found illegal and another researcher uses it, then their current research can be also found illegal. Effective punishments to prevent future research could be fines, suspension, or banned for life. The severity of the punishment depends on the severity of the action, and if the client was harmed by the researcher performing illegal or unethically. An example of when a researcher could be banned is if they use a different amount of substance to what they initially said. If the client was harmed, then they would be banned for life, but if there was nothing wrong with the client, they might get away with only a suspension for a few months or years. The advantages to this is it can bring good researchers back on track to perform legally. The client can trust and feel better about doing the tests and researchers and research and the results gathered. It protects British universities' reputation if people know that researchers are being dealt with in the appropriate ways. The disadvantages are that small fines won't impact big companies. An example of this would be Nike. They are such a big company. They're such a big developed company that most fines won't affect them, so they might not feel they are being punished and keep being illegal and unethical. Some researchers might come back after their suspension unchanged and still work illegally in unethical ways. On the other hand, the punishment could be over the top, and a world-class researcher who made a small mistake could be banned for life, which could prevent sporting performance from developing in different ways.